Alright guys, welcome. What we're going to do today is a draft on Magic Online. And I'm choosing to do it on online instead of Arena because I'm not a big fan of the bots on Arena. I don't feel like they give you a valuable experience of what it'll be like sitting next to your friends or at a tournament and actually seeing what cards go around and what works and what doesn't work. I feel like it comes down to exploiting the bots, and everybody ends up with a ridiculous deck because the bots don't value things the right way. Whereas Magic Online, you're drafting with real people and you're drafting the right way, I feel. So I'm going to be doing one online and draft's my favorite format, and it's like one big moving puzzle. So let's dive in and try to solve this puzzle together. Now, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to join the draft, and I'm going to talk about several of the cards, highlight a few of them, and then kind of work out which one's the best one to choose. Now, in this pack, the rare is kind of unassuming. It's a good 2-drop, absolutely, but its ability doesn't matter. Whereas Nightmare is good because it's kind of a 2-for-1. It kills a creature, takes a card out of their hand, exiling graveyard's great. So that's leading, and black's one of the best colors in the format. Now, Heliod's Punishment is a good enough removal, but the fact that you get to take counters leads me to not want it as much. It's not as good as it could be. Heliod's Pilgrim's really good. And not a whole lot of other things, so it's between Nightmare and Punishment. I'm going to go with the black card because, like I said, it's a better color, and I think Nightmare is just a better card in general. Alright, in this pack, the Evangel's been pretty decent. It's good for the white load 'em up style deck. The Chimera has been just amazing. Anytime you're able to cast it for 3 or less, you're ending up with a bomb style card. Subtleties has been very impressive. More than you think it would be. Being able to keep bringing back and being able to load up auras in an enchantment based set has just been really impressive, especially knowing how aggressive white can be. Omen of the Sea is probably one of my favorite omens. I like drawing cards, I like filtering. It does it all. I think I'm going to aim for the highest rewarding card, which if I can get in white and get as many of these chimeras as possible, then I'm just going to be ecstatic. So I know it doesn't go with the first pick that well because you want to be more white, but I can always splash black if it need be. So I'm going with Chimera. Alright, this pick, I don't think Hydra's growth's very good. I think it takes too long, and it definitely wins games, and it can win games, but the fact that it doesn't give trample leads me to not want it as much. Dreadful Apathy following up the Chimera pick is great. It's one of definitely premium removal and one of the best best commons in the set, I believe. Iroh's Blessing's another really good common, but I'm not in red yet. And Loathsome Chimera has been really impressive. Just the escape mechanic in general has been a very 2-for-1 feel to it. Now, I think I'm going to lead into what I said, like I said earlier, the highest upside card. If I can get these two things working together, and I can get a Heliod's Pilgrim on the wheel or something, then, this will do a lot of work in my deck. And it works with flickers, so I can exile 2 cards. It's just a really good card. Alright, this pick. Destiny Spinner, I feel, is a very good card. It's already overpriced as a 2/3 for 2. The not being able to be countered isn't huge, but there are a couple in blue that people play. And then a late game mana sink that lets you load up your lands to get bigger. With enchantments, which you're already going to be playing this set, you're already going to have a bunch of them. I feel like it's a good card. It's definitely in the running in this pack. Aspect of Manticore is not bad. I'm probably not going to take it here. Like I said, I am a fan of Sentinel Eyes, and we have seen it in earlier packs. So I am tempted to just stay white here, even though giving up the stronger card for the sake of getting someone out of white. Now, it's definitely paying up This isn't the pick to be taking it, but I'm going to try. And not really rewarded in this pack for it. This pack, for the most part, is weak in general. The picks that I'm leaning towards, Stinging Lionfish can be good if you have instant speed. I do not have that yet, so I'm probably not going that route. Piper is a good 2-drop, especially if you have some sack effects. Being able to draw cards or do cool things with it is definitely worth it. Or if you wanted to be a defensive deck having 2 blockers, it works out. I feel like Mogis Favor is the highest upside card here, and it goes with Nightmare. And white-black also cares about these enchantments that remove things. So if we can get like a the 1-drop enchantment creature that draws a card every Hateful Eidolon, then this could be really good. And I'm just impressed with the card in general, so we'll take that. Okay, and this pick, I'm not a fan of Triumph of Eros. I don't think it's very good. Flicker of Fate can work with Dreadful Apathy really well, so that's definitely on the list. The best card in this pack is by far Iris Blessing, and red-white is definitely a good archetype. Red-black as well is decent, and we see a lot of cards going around, so I could go either way with that. I could take another Sentinel's Eyes, and I have paid up on one earlier, so that might be a good pick. I think I'm going to stay open, and I'm going to take the Blessing in case red is the color that's open. And this pack may have paid me off for it. Hero of the Games is not necessarily a strong card on its own, but red-white is the color type of heroes, and this could definitely reward me for jumping into that, because I already have Sentinel's Eyes, Iris Blessing, several things to target, and I could pick up some of the deal 1 to 3 different creatures type effects that could pump my team. So that definitely could be it. Vexing Goal is also pretty good, but I think I'm going to take the hero and see if red is the color that's open. And this pack isn't very impressive. I feel like the Grave Robe Dancer has been more impressive than I thought it would be, but I'm really not touching green. I think Flicker of Fate works best with Apathy, and I could get more. Now, white hasn't seemed that open, but I value Sentinel's Eyes, and those have been coming late, so maybe it is open if people value them the same way, but I doubt it. I'm going to take the Flicker of Fate, even though Final Flare might be better. This pick, there's some decent green coming around still, but like I said, I think I'm too late in the party for that. I think I'm going to take the good common 2-drop. Now, it's not great unless you're really aggressive, and if I'm red-white, I'm going to be. And I don't want a bunch of them in my deck, so I value the first 1 or 2 highly, and then after that I'll probably just let them go. This is a good sideboard card, and I will take a couple later on, hopefully. So, it looks like red is open. It's not great cards, but it is open. Now, I have some black cards that could go with a sack effect, so I might just take that for the sake of that. This is also a very good card. Dealing 1 to things and exiling them is very good. I'm going to take this in case red-black's the color. Alright, so red-blue might be open. This is a late Chimera, and I did see some late green. Should I put my stick in red, maybe? None of those fit what I'm doing. I'm going to take the Chimera. Alright. Well, Aspect of Manticore fits what red-white would be doing, so we'll take that. Load up some auras. This is a fine card, especially if green's open and we decide to go green ferocious, big guys. Triumph of Eros, like I said, don't care for it, but we'll take it. And a pretty land. Alright, let's make this bigger. And see what we're actually looking at here. I don't think black's open. And we can move this stuff over to kind of get a look at what our removal might be. Okay, so that's our creatures, that's our removal. I think we're red-white for the most part right now. Now, Haktos is good. Now, it can randomly be not very good if you fall on the wrong side of things. There's also a chance we just take the black card and still be open to being black, because those are premium removal. I think these are better than what Haktos is. Indomitable Will, the Rage Hound might come back around. So now we have to decide whether we fight for black or just settle in to red-white and hope that Haktos rolls the right number. I'm not sure. I don't think we're giving up much on Haktos. I'm going to take the grass and see if black's still open. Okay. Wow. So this pack is really strong. The boar is really good, but like I said, I don't think we're green. Commanding Presence is the aura, definitely an aura you want, especially on like Chimera, and if we can get some other good people to go with it. I've been a fan of Pious Wayfinder a lot. He will fit an aggro deck, and we have a lot of enchantments already, and he's going to be boosting a person every single turn. If we get multiples, then he really starts to go off. Omen of the Forge hasn't been as good as I thought it would be, but we will still take one or two in the deck. I think we take the highest upside card again in the aura, and we have to start loading up on some things to put them on. But it's still early, and we can still do that. Labyrinth of Scophos. We have to decide whether we're going to be slow enough to use the Labyrinth, because it is a very good card. And the format is slow, but we have one of the fast decks in the format that we want to really get going, and we have a lot of auras to get with the Pilgrim. We have the Blessing, the Presence, Dreadful Apathy, Aspect of the Manticore, and Sentinel Eyes. We have like 4 removal to get with it, and ways to pump our creatures. So I'm thinking that we won't be slow enough. We want to put the pedal to the metal, and Pilgrim just provides too much 2-for-1 upside to pass up on. So we'll take the Pilgrim here. Okay, so we are about, 3 picks into it, and we're still seeing black cards? I mean, it would be rough to pass up on the red at this point. They're providing our curve here. Even if these are really good, I think we become a different deck if we put the black in, and I think we really want to focus on being the red-white deck at this point. So as good as Final Death is, I don't think we want to be dirtling around for it, which is what that deck would be. I think we want to be more on get the 2 drops and start curving out. So I'm going to focus on Careless Celebrant, and I think it's a really good card, and it trades up for its mana greatly. It can sometimes 2-for-1 kill 2 creatures, sometimes can trade up for a 4 toughness creature, and just sky's the limit. So I think we'll take this as 2-drop, and it'll be one of the better ones in our deck. Alright, so this pick. This pick, we have a choice of another 2-drop, which our deck desperately needs, and it's a high power 2-drop, so that's good. We take another removal, which we got some already, and like I said, I've not been terribly impressed with it. Omen of the Sun is good, is definitely good, but I feel like we need to make sure our curve is low. So I think we need to focus on the 2-drop at this point. Now I want to see as many white heroes and other heroes coming around, so hopefully we get some later in the draft. We get rewarded for going this route. Alright, so this pack, we can't make use of the Temple. Birth of Meletis I feel like is a good card, but it won't be good in our deck. We have no use for an 0-4 wall. Sentinel Eyes, as I've already said, is a good card, and I think would be good in our deck. And it will be good to put out early and get our Chimera costing less. So I think I'm leaning towards that. The rest of these cards are very unimpressive. Alright. Hopefully we start getting some better creatures for our curve, or we're not going to be as aggressive as we want to be. So I think at this point our only real choice is the Rage Hound. Like I said, I don't want 4 or 5 of them, but I'm okay with getting a couple and loading them up or moving stuff out of the way by removing it and whatnot. So hopefully we can get some more of those kind of effects too. Alright, let's see here. This pack is not really good for us. This card, like I said, was a good sideboard card, but at this point it's killing our entire deck almost. So I'm not sure it's what we want to even side in. I don't think we'd be able to side all that out. That would just ruin what our deck is doing. So I think again we take a flicker and hope to get maybe another Dreadful Apathy or things that enter the battlefield, some cool effects. And this pack, we don't have any real sack effects, so I'm not really keen on taking another one of him. We're at 17 cards, we're not hurting for playables yet. I think it's more than okay to just take a card that's good for the sideboard. Hate against the escape decks. This pack is not very good either. I think I'm going to take a familiar because at worst case if we need a card in our deck we'll put it in there, and it's not a terrible thing to load up. But we're probably not going to play it. Alright, I think we'll go ahead and take this Omen, just kind of keep taking the best card. This feels awfully late for this. There's a possibility we should have been in green. There's some definite filler in this deck. Hopefully we can replace it in this last pack. Let's go ahead and move some stuff back around. Kind of see where our curve is. We definitely have the start to an aggressive deck. That's good sideboard in case we have to kill an artifact, like the Shadow Sphere. Definitely one I'll bring in for that deck. Any deck that has that, or even the Enchanted Lyre. I'll bring that card in to try to kill that anytime I see it. Well, it does look like we have a good curve here. Now, I don't like the fact that we have almost as much things to put on creatures as we do creatures. We're going to have to definitely up our count with that and make sure to make our 2-drops a little bit better. Like I said, I would like to get some more heroes and ways to pump them. Otherwise, we're going to have a hard time getting through and killing them quickly. And we already have 4 escapable things, so I don't want to have any more of that in the deck. I really wish we had ways to get this thing to cost cheaper, but it's not looking like it's going to be less than a 4-drop most of the time. Alright, guy, come on, pick your last card. Let's get this. Looks like someone's about 3 picks behind us. One of the reasons the zone draft. Otherwise, you got people waiting forever. Apparently, Magic Online doesn't do that. Alright, there's definitely some winners in this one. So, Stormwrath, I feel like, is a good card. It's good sweeper, and you can always, even if you have a creature deck, play around it and use it when it's best for you. Let them play their cards out, wrath them, play your cards out, or play it worst case scenario. So I don't think it's as bad in this deck as it might seem, but I don't think I'm taking it. Vanishing Light is just premium removal. Just really good. Celebrant would be a perfect 2-drop, as I already said, and that aura is just ridiculous. I do think I just need to keep getting creatures. And as broke as he's not in this deck, I might have to go him. Now, it's worth noting that Pilgrim cannot go get this, but it can get this still. I think it's tough. I think I'm going to take the Chimera, and I don't know if it's the right pick, but I'm going to because I need a creature, and it's the strongest creature there. All right. This one's interesting. I feel like all the cards for us are right here in this corner. Do we want to have a slower deck and take this and have a lot of hits for it out of the yard? Do we want to take Pilgrim and continue to have a bunch of ways to get all these lovely things, these auras and things, or do we want to take a removal? So that's a tough pick. This one's not as close, not as obvious as getting a creature last time, I think. Oh man. I think I'm going to take the creature. It has plenty of hits still. So even if he gets one or we draw some of the other stuff, we're always going to get something out of this. It's always going to be a 2-for-1, so it's always going to be good. This is very good, so I might be wrong here, but I'm taking the creature. And it also takes one more pip off of this. All right. We are rewarded for passing on the removal because this pack is stacked for us. So, Banishing Light or Dreadful Apathy is where we're at. Now, normally I'd say Banishing Light, period. It is what it is, end of it. Now, we have 2 Pilgrims. That's one more reason to pick Apathy. We also have 2 Flicker Fates, which will let us flicker it in response to its trigger and exile that creature and send it to another creature. So I think Apathy, weirdly enough, is going to be better for us than Banishing Light here. So I think I'm going to take the Apathy. I'm going to leave that there. Okay, well, if 2 Apathy is not bad, I mean 3 is even better. And like I said, this lets me keep the 2 Flickers in, which seems very good. It helps me keep this to a lower flyer, which is also good. Maximum hits for this. I'm going to take the Apathy. I really want some creatures, but I got to take the Apathy. There's no creatures for us here. This Blood Aspirant's not looking very good. Put those together. Throw all these little things together. So we might be loading up a small creature and just kind of hoping to ride them to victory in this deck. It might be one of these Chimeras, it might be one of these. Like I said, this card does not look very good in this deck. Really hoping to replace it. This pack doesn't look very much helpful. Trickster, we don't really have a lot of instant speed stuff to do, so it's not very good, and it's not good in general. Triumphant Surge, like I said, is a pretty good sideboard card, but we're not hurting for removal. We're going to take this as some more creatures. Loading up 1/1s, I guess, not terrible, but definitely not what we want to do. At least it works with the hero a little bit. So I wouldn't call this draft a train wreck, but the creatures and the archetype we're in, it's not really meshing. We will be a definite more controlling red-white tempo type of deck. Our removal is very good, so we at least got that going for us. Our Sentinel's Eye is definitely not at its finest. So we got 5 different auras. So a card like this could be very good in that kind of deck. And it's good with the hero. Do we have enough creatures to put that on? I'm not sure. But I wouldn't say these are like jumping to be in our deck either. This might be better than the aspirant, so maybe that's what we do. Alright, I think I'm going to take this and get rid of the aspirant. Alright. This pack. This pack's not very good for us. I'm not sure what lane we should have been in. I know white was it. Possibly red's not supposed to be it. Maybe we fell in love with Iris Blessing and I should just be taking all the white cards and throwing these black in there and just kind of having a kill everything style deck. But we might be past that. And we wouldn't have any 2-drops in that deck. So I'm going to take the Final Flare and hopefully we can sack some enchantments to make it work. Sacking a Sentinel's Eyes to deal 5 to something feels good. This pack helped us a lot. We needed this 2-drop desperately. So let's put it in there. Alright. So do we take third Sentinel Eyes or the Wrath I talked about being decent? We got so much removal, I don't feel like we necessarily need the Wrath, and the Wrath might be wrathing something we already have an enchantment set to. Do we have enough creatures for the third Sentinel's Eyes, though? I'm going to take it. The Trickster can go to... Yeah, I'm just going to take a random card out. Stampede Rider, sure. Our curve is low. We might be able to get away with some stuff. I must have missed this earlier. I don't remember. Well, this was probably in the pack with all the removal. This is great. Oracle's great. Alright, we'll take the Warden, put it in the sideboard. Stampede Rider, sure, you can go to the sideboard too. Okay, so I wouldn't call it a train wreck. We're doing a lot better now. We got 14 creatures, but one of them's an omen, so we got, say, 15, 16 creatures, which is good with all of our auras, so we'll be alright. And our curve is ridiculously low, and this guy's now getting to the point where he might cost in the 3 range. So let's go ahead and group this separately. Take a look at what we're actually looking at. Alright, 3 Sentinel Eyes, 2 Flickers, a Final Flare, Aspect, and the Omen will go up there. Dreadful Apathy, 3 of them, so I feel like 2 Flickers is definitely what we want to be. And the Flickers also work with a Blessing, and I might be able to move this around in some cases to get another combat that could be in our favor. And this being able to sack a creature or enchantment could definitely be useful, because we have plenty of enchantments to sack. Being able to use that and sack a Sentinel's Eyes to deal 5 and then bring it back with Escape just feels like value to me. So, I know I said we needed creatures, but I'm not a fan of this one. Although a 1/3 body suits up pretty well to a 2/4, to a 3/3, 2/4, or just, you know, a 3/5 for a striker. So it might be okay. It might be okay. We'll put it back in there. I guess Stampede Rider is the one that probably needs to go. We'll get rid of him. We'll keep our 2-drops in. 2-drops are important. So, like I said, our mana, we might be able to get away with 16 or 15 land. And I know 15 sounds crazy, but look at our curve. It's a lot of 3, though. Yeah, we might have to do 16. 2-color deck, 15. That's probably too ambitious. We'll do 16. So we need to cut 2 cards. That seems like a keeper. That's a keeper. Those are definite keepers. The Rage Hounds are just meh. But they definitely have to be in the deck with what we're doing. These gets a bunch of things in the deck. And the Chimeras will not be cut at all. Stampede Rider is also meh. Omen, and that seems very good. Anytime we can get the Omen out and being able to put something on there, that pushes a lot of damage, especially with us removing blockers all the time. So, One Sentinel's Eyes could be meh. Flickers are definitely good. Aspect, we gotta be attacking, so I might have to keep that. So, I think these are our 3 possible cuts. Now, we're at 13, 14 creatures with the Omen. So I don't think we can cut both creatures. I think we gotta choose one. I don't think Stampede Rider is gonna be good enough. So I'm gonna cut it. Keeps our curve lower too, and we can always use this guy to loot. He suits up well. I think we can get away with getting rid of One Sentinel's Eye as well. So let's go ahead and sort this again. Let's combine them. Let's look in our sideboard real quick and make sure we didn't miss something. Yeah, I don't want any part of that bird. This is a sideboard card. Okay, so let's sort it by color. See what we're at. Yep, mostly white. So 9-7 sounds about right to me. These are all single colors. We got double white here. So 9-7 sounds good. So add that. We'll sort it up. And this is our deck. I will make another video of our first game and all our matches pretty soon. But this is where we're at so far, and hopefully enjoyed it. Hopefully it wasn't a complete train wreck, and I look forward to you telling me all the wrong picks I made. Thanks. See you guys.